Have you been trying to get rid of sciatica through stretching? It doesn't work, and it definitely doesn't work long term. Now, there's one thing that we need to add to what you're doing to make sure that it's most impactful and beneficial. And we're gonna show you in this video. It'll change your life and get rid of the sciatica and get rid of it for good. So let's get right into the video. First thing, we need to look at the leg. Why isn't stretching working? Here's the sciatic nerve right here, running underneath. And then if I pull this off, you can see the sciatic nerve coming all the way down into the lower leg right here. So when we're stretching, we are just yanking and pulling on that nerve. We're putting tension on it. But the nerve is actually stuck in those muscles. So at different areas, there's different pinch points for that sciatic nerve where it's getting stuck in those muscles where it's causing more irritation. What we've got to do is actually loosen up the space around that nerve. We have to loosen up those muscles and now allow that nerve to glide. And that's what we're going to do in this video. Let's get the nerve gliding and let's make our stretches more impactful. So let's get into the first rollout to loosen up the area around that nerve. Okay, number one rollout, we need to loosen up the glute. So I'm gonna get right here in between my hip bone and my pelvis on my belt loop. We start sideways with the wall, and then I'm gonna turn about 30 degrees. I unweight my right leg, and then I'm loosening up that glute. So I wanna make sure that I get right here on the side of my glute and loosen up. I gotta unweight this right leg. Can't put more than 5% of my pressure through it. And I'm loosening that up. So what I'm doing is I'm getting that pull that's happening, that compression on the nerve with the muscles. I'm loosening that up from the side so that we're taking pressure off of it from loosening up where muscles overlap. So I loosen that up on the side, do it for about a minute. If you only have it on one side, then do that side. If you have it on both sides, then we want to do both. Now, number two, we're going over to this bench right here. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna loosen up in that hamstring where that nerve was coming through. So I'm gonna go right here. Your muscle splits apart and bifurcates right here. So you're gonna feel it, it's tender. We do it on a countertop. If you don't have something like this at home, like a hard chair or a countertop, I wanna keep my back in a neutral position, and then I put my weight down into it and I just extend this leg. So I'm loosening that up. I do 10 swipes on the outside of that muscle. So I'm right here on the outside. I'm gonna do 10 swipes on the middle, and I'm gonna do 10 swipes on the inside. So now I'm gonna get on the middle, putting pressure down into it, lengthening out. Now, if you feel nerve pain going down the leg when you're doing this, I want you to come a little bit millimeters just over to the side to make sure that you're not actually aggravating that sciatica. Like, none of this should be aggravating to the sciatica. We should feel like we're on muscles, not aggravating the nerve itself. If you're on the nerve, it's gonna make it more aggravated. We're looking to get around the nerve. So think of the nerve as like my middle finger. I wanna be right here and right here. I'm making these two parts of the muscle wiggle so this nerve can glide around, and that's my objective. So if your nerve is irritated and we get on it and we dig on the nerve, it's going to make it more irritated. So we need to make sure that we're not chasing pain like that. Tenderness in that muscle is pretty normal. The third thing that we want to do is make sure that we're getting into the calf as well. So I'm going to grab a rolling pin, and we have a bunch of tools up here. So these two right here, you can do this on a bench, a chair. Really, this bench is probably the best thing. So I can use this. This is easy because you could have a rolling pin at home. You don't have to go buy anything or something, a dough roller. And so now I'm gonna get into that leg and I'm gonna loosen that up. So I'll do it on the other leg so you can see it better. So I'm gonna loosen up the outside. So I'm moving about 2 inches for 10 swipes right there. And then I'm going right in the middle, 2 inches for about 10 swipes. And then on the inside, 2 inches for about 10 swipes. And then now I'm going all the way down from the bottom of the calf, mid to bottom calf, all the way down the Achilles, and loosen that up. So now I've gotten that glide through the entire chain. So the glute is loosened up, the hamstring is loosened up, and the calf is loosened up. So we want to finish that off by getting blood flow to those muscles in the posterior chain. So we're going to go back over to the wall and we're going to do our hip hinge. So we're going to keep our back in a neutral position. We're going to measure our foot away from the wall and then keep the face in line with the chest. I'm pushing back. So this is like an RDL exercise for somebody who's doing an RDL in the gym. We're just allowing the knees to bend as my hips go back. So I'm pushing back. I don't lock my eyes on the wall because then I go into extension. I'm using my lower back. I don't want to do that. I want to keep my face in line with my chest and have my hips lead the motion. And I'm going to do 15 of these, just firing up those hamstrings and the glutes. If you're struggling extending, then we just grab our belly right here, and you'll feel if you extend like this, then you feel your fingernails dig into your belly. If you're struggling and your knees are shoving forward and you feel like you're falling backward because our knees are moving forward, we're moving our butt further from the wall, then we just put a chair in front of your legs so the lower leg can't move forward. I can push against my thighs with my abs, and you see that my face is staying in line with my chest. I'm doing 15 of those. Now I've loaded up my hamstrings and my glutes. I've got blood flow in there. Now all the stretches that you do for your sciatic nerve, make sure that you're not feeling those stretches. We've made the stretches more impactful because we've loosened up the tissue in that area, and that we've now gotten blood flow and made that nerve glide. Now when you do stretches, if you feel your sciatic nerve getting irritated while you do the stretches, then it's counterproductive. We want to feel stretches in the muscle, not in the nerve itself. So we're getting that to glide around. It's going to make everything more impactful. Make sure you follow the channel, ask any questions that you might have, leave us a comment, and we'll see you in the next video.